Good morning. Form 944 for 2020 Employers Annual Federal Tax Return. Part 1, line 1 to 5. We have our test problem. We can read it quickly. You own L.L.C. And at the end of 2020, you pay yourself $100 in compensation. You withheld federal income tax, Social Security tax, and Medicare tax. What tax does L.L.C owe? What form to file? And when to file them? So the first form we are filing is Form 944 because our business is required to file annual employers annual federal tax return, Form 944, to report and pay our tax liabilities. Line 1, wages, tips, and compensations. We have our federal tax withheld record here that we use to track income payouts. And if you are the only one in your business, you could use a spreadsheet to track how much you are paying yourself, how much you wanted to put on the side for federal income tax, pretty much allow your business to withhold from your income, Social Security, Medicare, those are specific percentage, and how much the business should pay in Social Security and Medicare as well. So we have that. So when we look at the spreadsheet, the total session here, the total session is 100. So on line 1, part 1 of Form 944, you put the total wages, tips, and other compensations that you pay your staff members. And the instructions will go up a little bit here. Specify what goes under that section. So that will be wages you have paid, tips your employers reported to you, other compensation in the general instruction for Form W2 and W3 for details. So sick leave paid by your agent also include sick leave paid by a third party that isn't your agent. For example, an insurance company. If you were given timely notice of the payment and the third party transferred liability for the employer's taxes to you. If you are a third party payer of sick pay and not an agent of the employer, don't include sick pay that you paid to policyholders' employees where here, if you gave the policyholders timely notice of the payment. So tips, wages, compensations will go on line 1. Line 2, federal income tax withheld from wages, tips, and other compensations. So that will go on line 2, and on our spreadsheet, There is a publication 15T that I will remember to add it to our free download session so that you can click on the link and access it to read how you can pay if you are the only employee in your business, or if you have employees, depending on how you want to pay them and how much you are paying, there is an estimate for the rate to apply to the income. So it is helpful to calculate that. And here we withheld $22 from the $100. So that the total is not just for one employee, but the total withheld, the total employee federal income tax withheld will go on line 2. And we can take a look at the instructions to see if there is something. Didn't highlight anything there, but that will include, with income withheld from tips and wages and compensations. Line 3. If no wages, tips, or other compensation are subject to Social Security or Medicare, check line 3. Check that box. But our wages is subject to those taxes, so we are not going to check box 3. Line 4. Taxable Social Security and Medicare wages and tips. Line 4 has column 1 and column 2. Column 1 is the incomes, and column 2 is the tax. So for a taxable Social Security wages, so that will be the same as line 1 times 0.124, and 0.124 is both employee and employer Social Security rate combined is 6.2% for each side or each party, employee and employer. Total together, that's 12.40%. So you times 100 by 0.124, and that's $12.40. And you do not round, so you write $12 in the dollar amount, 12, and then 40 in the cents per. For AI, qualified sick leave wages. So if certain businesses and tax-exempt organizations that have fewer than 500 employees are required to pay sick leave and family leave, there is a credit they take. So if you are required to pay those to pay sick leave, the total that you pay will go on that line. So we could so here let me see if we have 4I. So qualified sick leave wages. So enter the qualified taxable sick leave wages you pay to your employees during the year. And you have to remember the sick leave, only the employees pay the Social Security on it. That's why it's 0.062 or 6.2%. The employer does not pay does not pay Social Security on sick leave or family leave. You only take it from the employer, from the employee's income. The employer, your business is not going to match it. So if you have paid sick leave, you'll put it in the column 1, the total that you pay for sick leave, and you'll time it by 0.062, and the Social Security tax you withheld from the employee or the employees or your staff members' salary for that will go in column 2. Line 4A to I. qualify family leave wages. So if you pay family leave wages or income, it will go in column 1, and you will withhold social security tax on it as well from the employee's income, and that will go in column 2. The employer does not match it. Line 4B, taxable social security tips. So the tips, you will pay social security on it, and the employee will pay social security on it. So the total tax here is 12.40% or 0.124. So you'll put the total tips in column 1 times 0.124 will give you the tax that will go in column 2. In our case, we didn't pay any of those incomes or wages, so we left it blank. Taxable, line 4C, taxable medical wages and tips. Here it is the same as line 1, but before we switch to Medicare, let's talk a little bit about 4A. There is a threshold. If you pay $137,700 to an employee or a staff member in your business, that's the threshold for Social Security. So let's see here. So stop paying Social Security tax on and entering an employee's wages on line 4 when the employee's taxable wages, including qualified sick leave wages, qualified family leave wages, and tips, reach $137,700 for the year. However, continue to withhold income and Medicare tax for the whole year on all wages, including qualified sick leave wages and qualified family leave wages and tips, even when the Social Security wage base of $137,700 has been reached. So that's the threshold. So when you are entering the Social Security taxable income on line 4, you have to take that into consideration. If you pay over $137,700 to an employee, you won't include the amount over that in the Social Security part. Okay, so now the Medicare. Let's see here. And the Medicare has a threshold of $200,000. When, let's read it here. Once wages or tips exceed the $200,000 withholding threshold, include all tips your employee reported during the year, even if you were unable to withhold the employee tax of 0.9%. So pretty much I'll just carry somewhere there, but that's a little bit up here. That's the additional Medicare tax withholding. So if you pay, let me read their own word. You are required to begin withholding additional Medicare tax in the pay period in which you pay wages in excess of $200,000 to an employee, and continue to withhold it each pay period until the end of the calendar year. Additional Medicare tax is only imposed on the employee. There is no employer share of additional Medicare tax. All wages that are subject to Medicare tax are subject to additional Medicare tax withholding if paid in excess of the $200,000 withholding threshold. Okay, so now let's talk about Medicare wages here. So in our case, 4C is the same as line 1, 100 times 0.029, which is employee and employer tax combined for Medicare. And that gave us $2.90 that we put in column 2, no rounding. For the taxable wages, tips subject to additional Medicare tax withholding, well, we didn't pay anything over $200,000. We only paid $200,000, so we'll just leave that part blank. When you don't have any dollar amount to put on a line, you leave it blank, to the exception of line 9. So 4E, total Social Security and Medicare tax. So we'll add column 2. No, we will add column 2 for all the 4s. So here is $12.40 for line 4A and $2.90 for line 4C, Medicare, Social Security and Medicare. So that total to $15.30 for employees and employer, Social Security and Medicare. And if you have a spreadsheet like this to track it, that will be the Social Security for the employees and the employers, and that's $15.30. Line 5, total tax before adjustment. Add line 2 and line 4E. So line 2 is $22, and that's the federal income tax. Added to line 4E, $15.30, that total to $30.30. And if we take a look at our federal tax withheld record, we add the $22 to it, and that's $37.30, which is the total, the pretty much the, I think I should label it, the total tax that's the total tax to pay. The business tax liability, because you withheld from the employee's income. It is with you and you match it. So that's that. And that's pretty much from line 1 per 1, form 944 per 1, line 1 to line 4 is what we will cover in this session using our test problem, where we pay $100 in total compensation, which we put on line 1, put what we withheld from the income for federal income tax, and then the line 4 helps you calculate the taxes, the Social Security tax and the Medicare tax on the total wages that you pay out during the year. And pretty much that will give you, line 2 and line 4 will give you the total to put on line 5, which is the total tax before any adjustment. And that's what we will cover in this session. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Thank you for watching our videos. Thank you for all your comments, and thank you all that subscribe to our channel. We'll have the link to the form and the instruction on our blog under free downloads. You don't need an email to access the form, the link to the form, and you can start filling out this form for your business. I'm Afiavi, Liberman, an owner of Liberman Consulting LLC YouTube channel, Liberman Consulting LLC podcast, NinaSoap.com our blog, and we do have online stores, natural product store, NinaSoap.com, custom apparel store, LiberLabel.com, a resale store, LiberOutlet.com, and digital product store, LiberDownload.com. Thank you.